I'm far enough along now where I can get the door shut and deadbolt the top. And I could stop here. It would be functional. Kind of redneck chic. I got a place to stick the barrel of my shotgun out in case I have any intruders or young teenage boys trying to take my daughter out on dates. But I suppose before the girls get home, I ought to probably finish this job. I'm done with bike stuff today, I guess, because that's a problem. And it's not any better from the outside. So I locked myself out. And it's just me. Chill out. So I've got to go to the store, hardware store, and get some replacement latches. And that may be nice anyway. I've got a special needs kiddo, and having a combo lock is not a bad idea. Just for helpers and things like that. So I'm off to Lowe's. And while I'm out there, I'm going to look at that flexi tape too for the wire wrap. So it's a good opportunity to head out to the hardware store. I don't usually need an excuse to do that. But it's been kind of an expensive week. I picked up, like I said, the bags and the lures for the Street Glide, not knowing that I would walk into a guitar store and find that guitar I didn't find in Chicago. Oh well. We're having fun again with this door. There was a small little Allen wrench where you take the handle off and it gets the plate away so you can get to some set screws. Now you don't need a screwdriver to do this job, but it helps. When I took this apart, I had to drill a hole in the bottom of the door. You can see that, as promised, I did indeed put the handle in. And there wasn't a template in this kit other than this cardboard, so I got to imagine this is the template for your drill pilot. I wonder how many poor fools didn't figure that out. Anyway. Been tested. It opens. Got the other side done. And it's so smooth now that we're not used to it. And it feels very weird. Anyway, I see that the door needs a new coat of paint, so we might have to do that too around the window as well. So it'll be a good time to maybe change the colors out. So those of you that are renting and are thinking, maybe we should have a house. My only warning to you is it's great having a house. I love having an acreage. Wouldn't change it, but it will take away from your bike time. We are back at it with the work on the 1200, the faithful steed. And, well, while we wait for my friend Jim, I've got a new windshield to put on the Street Glide. So in Merc Vapor fashion of procrastination, we will put on the Street Glide windshield first. I'm also going to install this little guy. When I'm working on the bike, I love to have tunes. I'm very much into music. And I've got an old car stereo that's my stereo for the garage, hooked into some larger speakers. And I really want a quick way to hook up my phone and stop music as I'm working so that I can record and not have to worry about copyrights and things of that. So this little box is a Bluetooth connection. Will allow me to hook up my smartphone so we can listen to Lithium while we're working on things, and when I need to record, I can simply stop the music. Bikes are stowed away, hooked up to the grid, making sure the batteries don't die. There's the one for the 1200, and you'll notice right here I've got hanging from some shelves a old car stereo with some speakers that are hooked up for sound. Now if I look right in the front, there's an auxiliary jack, and we're going to plug right into that. So I've plugged the box into the outlets behind. We're just going to plug the earphone jack right into the auxiliary. And really that's all there is to it. I connect the phone up to this little guy on Bluetooth and we should be rocking the tunes. Now if you're wondering what that's all about, it's a little PC because, as you know, I'm a nerd. I've got a computer screen over here, over by the bikes. Eventually I'm going to set it up so that when I walk into the garage, a sensor goes off, wakes up the computer, and shows me the weather forecast. And if I'm really lucky, I'll get a sound like Jarvis to tell me good morning and randomly pick a bike as a suggestion for me to ride. And while I was at it, I spent some time to bind up the cables and organize them a little better. It's not perfect, but I always try to leave things better than I found them. This is probably needing a lot more, maybe a channel or something, but at least up here I've got things bound up. I should mention too that this PC, rather than just being for, fun things like weather reports and greeting me, it also will hold, all of my music out here too, which I have a pretty extensive collection of. So pretty soon this is going to be quite the happening place to go to work on bikes. And like I told you, I'm a nerd, so up comes Linux. And here's the windshield we'll be tearing off from the Street Glide. I've gotten a lot of really good miles out of it. It's been a good windshield. The one that's replacing it's going to be very similar. The style of this bike, I'm going to go a lot plainer. I just ordered replacement saddlebags that are colored to match. I got the lowers too. But the chrome covers are coming off. When I feel like I'm going to put these bags back on, Andrea's busy right now with paint jobs, working on the 1200, and then she's got some surprises for the 883 as well. When we get to it, I'm going to have her repaint these saddlebags, keep it Merlot, but I'm going to come in from a metallic green in the bottom. I did some research on what color a pale horse is. Some of them said it can be green, so I'm thinking a fade up on the green would be good. A lot of this is being driven because I had an oopsie with the trailer near the end of the season, so we're gonna fix that up, and we'll get cracking on the windshield. If you've never replaced a windshield, it's super easy. There is just a few of these torque screws up front. Here's one. There's one. Over there is one. And basically, once you take those out, you lift the windshield and you're off to the races. And there it is, much cleaner, installed, super easy. Some screws, bam, bam, and bam. It's a little bit shorter than my other one. I think that'll be okay, but we'll see when the riding season comes up. So another thing that I have to do is I've got a replacement Karaoke horn cover. I'm going to do that now. So we're in an important impasse. We've been trying to figure out where exactly we want to mount this little guy, the ignition key. DK Customs has a setup where somewhere back on the primary on later model bikes there's a grounding stud, but this is a 97. Those did not exist prior to 2002. So there's an option potentially to mount over here, and I'm worried, honestly, about the height because we're looking at something like that as far as the setup, and the mounting situation is just a little bit nebulous. We are debating that. And the other option is there's absolutely nothing behind this plate. It's a solo bike, so you see I took the pegs out for passengers, so I don't think that's an issue. I think that's the cleanest, but herein lies the trouble. We've been cutting back at the heat shielding to get at the ignition wire and the ignition switch. And in order for us to reroute and go back here, we're going to have to pull all this guts out and try to get at the appropriate wires. So therein lies the problem, the dilemma. We'll be back with what we decided. Alright, so what we've decided is we're going to cut back on the heat shield and basically rewrap this. There's some double stick self-adhesive tape the guys use when they're doing their wire wrap for their tank lifts. We're going to go buy some of that too. But we're going to reuse the heat shield to keep all the wires safe. We're going to cut it back to about here. Bring the ignition. That should give us enough wire to come up here and down into here. We're going to tap a hole in this plate. And then Mr. Buzzkill here shared with me that we're going to have to drill it smaller because of this flat spot. And what's our answer to getting the hole big enough? A freaking file. So I guess that's the price you pay for beauty. After a little bit of cursing, we came up with an even better plan. So we're going to bore this out to the size of the hole. Then I'm going to go get some metal and JB weld it on the back of this plate to make this flat spot. Because it has a collar, we'll be able to hide it. So that's the new plan. When I woke up this morning, I didn't think we'd be bringing out the big guns. I've never actually, to my memory, ever turned this drill press on. I picked it up at a farm sale. We're going to put it to use now. That's how you cool hot stuff. I think that's going to do it for today. So we did put the headlight back in, pulled out the nest of wires that I'm going to shrink tube until I see Jim next time. We played a little bit with how to run the throttle cable, and what I think we came up with is Jim's going to work on a little bracket here that twists at a 45 degree and comes off the tank. So we cleared out the space by relocating the coil, but we looked, and this seems to be like the best place to put this. And let's see. Like I said, we also did this little magic number, which I actually like better than the DK kit. Should be able to see that no problem. And that's a good place to stop. Thank you, Jim. Yeah. What you doing? What do you think? Where's your moose? Go get your moose. You're in my face. Go get your moose. Where's your moose? Go get your moose. What do you think, Gibson? Is he gonna go get his moose? Is he gonna go get it? Oh, there's his moose. Bring it over. What about you? It's cuddle time? It's cuddle time? Okay, buddy. Good boy. And good boy, Oliver. Good job getting your moose. Hi, May. What's up, May? It is what some are calling Fool Spring in Minnesota. It's beautiful out, probably in the 50s. And I have not taken the bike out, mainly because I am in the country and there's been ice on our property until the last few days. Might get a chance to take it out today, but I've got to go to band practice, and tomorrow's supposed to be a little chillier. You can see the dogs looking at me. The chickens are back in the upswing of production. Pretty soon I'll be working on their run, getting that back in order. Gardens are getting ready to be planted, and it's so good to see the sun. It's Saturday morning, and I'm about to go on an adventure with a friend of mine down to our campers. And it is warm, as I said earlier, and he's going to ride one of his motorcycles back to town. That might make it in the footage for next week. It's been a fantastic week, although I got to say, it is like crazy busy right now. Everybody seems to want to put everything into motion. We've been cooped up for a long time, and now with the warmth, just things are getting crazy busy. Additionally, I'm not one for New Year's resolutions, but I hit a point where, based on being cooped up and eating really poorly, I realized I'd put on some weight. And they talk about goals and big picture things to help motivate people for losing weight. And for me, I'm seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm seeing cross-country motorcycle riding again, and I just need to fit into my chaps. If we hit cold weather or go up into mountains, I'm gonna want those. So I'm hoping to do more than just that, but the goal I'm really after right now is to make sure that my chaps fit for riding season. And additionally, my knee's been hurting me a little bit, and I'm gonna guess, I had a crash on one of my old Sportsters, and the added weight's probably not helping that. For those of you that might be interested, I am trying out Noom. So far, it's been really good, and I'll give you some more information about that as things evolve. Additionally, I got a phone call from my friends Jim and Andrea last night, and Andrea is done with the paint, and so she did a great job. It turned out so nice. I cannot wait to get these items on my bike, the tank and the two fenders. I've got pictures of them up here or around, and man, that Willie G skull gas cap looks so awesome on that tank. And I've already got the DK Customs relocation kit set up for the coils. So part of that is I've got a tank lift, so that tank's going to be lifted a little bit. Yeah, I know I'll lose some gas from that, but if and when I put a decal on the face of that gas tank, it's going to look awesome. And with that, I think I'm going to finish up the editing and get this video submitted. And I've received the feedback that some of my latest videos are a little short, and I knew that. I've been watching the analytics in YouTube, and I don't have a ton of people following these videos, but the analytics make it seem like people don't watch all the way through. However, apparently those that are watching through would like to see a little more content. So I'm going to start to try to target about 20 minutes for each of these episodes. And it's a goal. And if I keep branching out and catching different things, it should be no problem to fill 20 minutes. So let me know in the comments, what are the things that you like. What I'm afraid of is there's so many different things that I'm interested in and that I cover in these episodes. I'm going to get a wide variance of responses, but nonetheless, I'd still like to hear from you. You know, as an example, I'm sure my motorcycle enthusiast friends like the build video, but my wife gets pretty bored with that. But she likes the travel videos. So I personally think a variety is the way to go. I know that's going against every piece of advice from successful YouTubers that will tell you to focus, and I've got that advice my whole life. I just can't do it. I have too many things that I'm interested in. So many things of beauty in this world, so little time. And that's a good reminder, my friends. I will leave you with the same advice I give every week. Remember to see the beautiful things that are around you every day.